Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So if you're watching this video, you are ready to decorate for fall. And I have some tips for you to kind of get you ready for decorating and also kind of help you manage all of your stuff. So let's get started. My first tip for you is to create what I call the loading zone in your house. So in order to do that, you need to have a room that's not really a frequently used room. So for me, that would be my dining room. And that's where you want to pull out all of your bins, all of your decor. So right now, what I have is I have bins that are all across my dining room. I think I have like 5 or 6. And in each of my bins, I have them divided out. So one of my bins, I have pumpkins. Another one, I have signs. Other ones, I have florals and just other odds and ends from fall. And then on my dining room table, this is where I've kind of placed newer things that I've gotten that I want to make sure that I use this year. So it's either DIYs that I've recently created, or maybe it's florals or little signs that I've picked up here and there. Those are all sitting out. The reason I get everything out is 1, I want to see what I have on hand, and 2, I want to be able to decorate with it. And if you can't see it, you can't really decorate with it. And if you put it in an area that's not frequently used, if you're like me and it takes you maybe, I don't know, 1 or 2 weeks to decorate, if you're lucky, then it's not in your family's space. You don't have to worry about it, sitting out in your living room. Tip number 2 would be to pick a color scheme and stick with it consistently throughout your house. That's going to make your whole house look more cohesive, and it's also going to give you a better direction to go in. So for me this year, I am going with blues, navies, like a sage green, and white and cream. So what I did was I went and grabbed some new paints. And these are all spray paints that I got at Walmart. The key with these is you want to get them in a matte finish, and that's a little bit harder to find. The chalk paint is obviously a matte finish. These are a little bit more expensive. These were like $6.50 at my store. So I went with some matte colors that I thought would work really great in my decor. And this is the matte navy that I'm gonna go with. I have my big bucket of pumpkins over here. I gotta figure out what needs to be spray painted. So I'm just going to put my little spray paint cans sitting out, and then I'll put the pumpkins next to them so that way I have a variety of colors. I wanted to show you a few of the pumpkins I got. You guys know I have all the Dollar Tree pumpkins. I did pick up these at Hobby Lobby if you can't find them at Dollar Tree. These were $1 a piece after they were 40% off. So things like that I'm gonna keep white. But one thing they don't have at Dollar Tree are the big pumpkins. So I found this at Hobby Lobby. It was like paper mache, and it was $10, so 40% off, it's $6. So I thought that was a really good price for this size of pumpkin. You can't get this size of pumpkin cheaper than that. So what I'm gonna do is spray paint it. So I think this is going to go probably navy. So I'm just going to organize all the pumpkins and figure out what color they should be. So like things like this can get spray painted. So the reason I got these spray paints is I am going to be painting my pumpkins. Just because you have an orange pumpkin doesn't mean you have to keep it that way. So I'm gonna pull together all of my pumpkins, figure out which ones I wanna spray paint, and get ready for the year. And I'm gonna spray paint them, and then they're gonna be ready to use all throughout my house. So just make sure that you select a color scheme that works for you, that you love. It doesn't necessarily have to be what you have all of your stuff in. You can always repurpose things, spray paint things to make it in the color scheme that you want. So from there, you are ready to decorate. So what I would recommend doing is taking like your high profile areas and working on those first. That may be like your front entry table. You also would maybe want to do like a hutch in your dining room, your mantle in your living room. I don't decorate too much in my kitchen, but I definitely do my tables and my centerpieces. So start with those high profile areas and just create little vignettes based off of the things that you have. So in my dining room, this is my big statement piece, my hutch. So this is where I concentrate the majority of my decorating, and it's also my favorite one to do, so I like to do it up first. So let's get started decorating my hutch. You guys, I grabbed this for $5 at an antique store, so I wanted to incorporate this because it just looked very fall and rustic to me. So I'm going to fill it up with pumpkins, but I think instead of keeping it upright, I'm going to lay it on its side just to be a little bit different. Do you guys remember these? I used these in the spring. They were just paperback books I got from the thrift store, and I tore off the covers. So those are super simple to use. This Hello Fall sign I just picked up at Hobby Lobby for a couple of dollars. To give it a little bit something unexpected, I picked up some railroad ties from a antique store for just, I think they were 3 for $1. So I'm gonna add those in. Even when you're decorating on a hutch that has 3 different shelves, you really want to think about your different levels. One thing I like to use are cake stands. This is the $5 one you can get in the Target dollar spot, and it's great. It's smaller, so it's good for adding a little bit of height. I love little containers like this. I picked it up at a thrift store. I'm gonna add in some Dollar Tree florals, and I just kind of bent them down, and I can just stick them right in here, and they're really cute on the shelf. This is probably my favorite pumpkin. This is from Target Dollar Spot from last year. I'm really hoping they have more of these this year, and these burlap pumpkins from Dollar Tree are the best. One of my recent thrift store finds were these old books that open up, and they're the things that you could put like remotes in. But for me, I love things like this because it gives me more levels. So I'm gonna use these on the top shelf and play around with them and see how they will work best. This fall container is from Michael's, and then this I've had for a long time. Next, I'm going to go to the opposite side of the room, step back, take a look at it, and see if I like the placement of everything. Now, I'm going to be adding in some more pumpkins, but I think it's important to get like your main structural pieces in first, and then you can see where you need to add either greenery or pumpkins to fill it in. To fill in this little area, I'm going to be using this Dusty Miller, and it's $3 at Walmart. I'm also going to be using these little boxwoods that I pick up at Hobby Lobby. And then the pumpkins, I'm going to be using a combination of Dollar Tree and Hobby Lobby white pumpkins. So to fill it in a little bit more, I'm going to take the leaves and actually put them on the top of the pumpkins. That's just gonna look like it has another level to it. So your best bet for that is to just use individual leaves and build it up as you go. Okay, so I don't want it to look too perfect, so I'm going to try maybe adding some additional pumpkins up top and maybe another one down here. To finish off the hutch, I added a few more pumpkins, and now I'm just gonna add in some burlap leaves from Dollar Tree, and then I'll put in a little bit more greenery. Tip number 4 is to keep it simple. And I know that may sound kind of funny coming from me because I do put out a lot of decor. But when I mean keep it simple, what I don't do is I don't paint my walls or put out a bunch of new wall hangings. Most of the stuff that's on my walls stays year round. So don't feel like you have to change up all of your walls and all of your wall hangings. You know, just change out your accessories, and that's gonna make a big impact. So don't get too overwhelmed and don't feel like you have to change everything. Another tip to keep it simple is maybe just focus on decorating one room of your house. So for me, that may be my living room, and I'm just going to decorate that for fall. And that way you won't feel overwhelmed that you have to do your whole house. In my house, I only really decorate my main level, and then I have a little bookshelf at the top of our stairs that I decorate as well. But I don't decorate my bedroom seasonally, and I don't decorate my basement seasonally. So tip 5 is to take your time with decorating and only do it whenever you're feeling inspired. And some of you might be like, well, why? It's so true. Like if you're not feeling inspired, if you don't have a great idea, it's just not gonna look as good. When I try to force myself, it just doesn't work. Even for videos, sometimes I'll try to be like, oh, I wanna do this. And when I put it together, it just doesn't work. So I just wait until I'm inspired, and that's what decorating is all about. It's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be something you enjoy doing. So if you enjoy doing it, it's going to look a lot better in the end. All right, here's my bonus tip. My bonus tip is don't worry if it's perfect or not. I think I am hard on myself sometimes, and I'll look at an area and it's just not exactly the way I want it. And that's okay. I could always come back to it later and add things, change things up. So just, do your best and don't worry about it being perfect, and just have fun with it. I hope seeing these tips decorating in my house was inspiring for you to start decorating in your house. I have so many fall videos planned for you, so make sure you're subscribed to my channel so you don't miss out on any. And if you missed our last DIY, I'll link it here so you can watch that next. And I'll talk to you guys in our next video. Bye.